This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Okay, Gordon, coffee or tea?
I think tea now. I used to be pretty into my coffee, but now I'm a herbal tea guy. So I drink
Hello.
tea. So I'm going to go with herbal tea.
You're coffee sober, I see. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl, 100%.
Yeah, me too. Books or movies?
Books. Books give me, books are the best. It's the only way you could just have total downtime. Um,
Beach vacation or mountain retreat?
ooh, ooh. I love beaches. I don't like sitting on a beach. I think mountain retreat. I'm going to go mountain retreat.
Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Okay, you're a cat person. And last question, what would you have as a superpower if you could have one?
Oh, I'd love to be able to put a bubble around me where I couldn't hear anybody.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, so like silence, total silence.
Yeah. That would be my superpower. A leave me alone superpower.
Mine would be teleportation. I always say that. Like I have that so ready because I feel like
Well,
wouldn't.
yeah, I get with that. I get with that. I had airports. I could get with that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No commuting ever. No airplanes, no cars. You just think and then you're there. That sounds like magic to me.
Yeah, no, 100% down with that. As long as they put all my items back together the right way.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome to Fully Managed. Gordon, welcome to Fully Managed. This is where we discuss marketing and business tips. We assist you guys in your business journeys. You know me, I'm the host, Penji's partnership coordinator, Daniela. And our guest today, Gordon Meagher from Userp, is who we're talking to. Hi, Gordon. How
Nice
are
to
you?
meet you all. I'm delighted to be here with you today.
I'm delighted to have you here as well. We have a great show planned. We're going to talk about some really cool stuff. But before we get into the actual topics, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself to everybody who's listening or watching that is not familiar with you and what you guys do.
Okay, so I suppose I'll start by myself. First, I've been working in SEO for around 13 years. Um, I originally started my journey with the notion to make money online. This was my goal to make because I moved country and I didn't have a visa to work yet. So I said make money online, and I didn't know anything about the space, didn't know anything about websites. The goal was money, but then um, I really got into SEO as a process and marketing as a process. Now, before this, my whole history is in music. I love music. I'm a very creative person. So I really got into SEO and loved marketing from the creative perspective. So for me, then basically, I built my own affiliate websites, had some success there. I was still pretty much a junior, um, but I got a chance to work at a company, a brand, this 12 years ago. So I started from there, mainly leaning into my strengths, which are around content. um, And then from there, I had a great mentor whose name is Noah, who really taught me how to think about SEO and about marketing. And then from there, I worked with Noah for a long time. Really helped understand really what SEO means, and it's not just about links. It's not just about content. It's really on just like for me, SEO is about a jigsaw puzzle for a business. So I really got into that. Then I actually, my mentor left our company. He went to be head of SEO for another company. I went there. I became the head of SEO for that company and helped drive them from like a startup with maybe 100,000 traffic per month to millions of traffic per month. And funny thing. Um, so from there, I actually hired Userp, the company I work for, as I was head of SEO there. Um, Userp still work for that company, and but then I moved into the agency side, which is Userp. So I worked at the brand side my whole life, and I really wanted to have that agency discipline and knowledge. So for me, really, like it's like SEO for me, not to sound kind of boring, it's something I love. It's something that even if I wasn't working for a company, I would still be doing my own things. I was always doing my own projects. For me, I love the learning, and I love that it never changes. And I also love that. For me, I suppose it's you can do SEO by numbers. I think some SEOs do this, but really where the magic comes in is when you think outside the box. When you look at data from a different perspective than others. And this is kind of where I am. So in that 13 years, I went from working on my balcony, learning about WordPress to being the VP of Usurp today.
Amazing. I think that's really cool. Being passionate about something is always going to be something that's going to be the secret to a lot of success. Um, but to talk about today's topic, guys, we're talking about link building. As you see, Gordon knows a lot about SEO. He knows a lot about all of this. So we have a great topic planned with the do's and don'ts of link building in 2025. I think it's such a daunting topic to just even begin to approach it for a lot of people. In general, I think marketing like this, when it comes to a lot of these type of terminologies and things, can be scary for people who are not familiar with it, who only think of traditional marketing methods, for people who are not very tech savvy. So my first question to you is, what exactly is link building? How can you explain that to someone who is so new to this and is trying to kind of understand it?
Yeah. So basically, if we're talking about link building, we are talking about Google and how Google originally set up Google was around links. Their algorithm was links. And basically the whole idea of links was that if somebody, um, you've got a blog where you write about, you love cats. We both love cats. We write about cats all day long, right? So, and we're writing a lot of good content. And I've got a e-commerce store that sells pet food or pet products, okay? Google sees a link from your blog that's about pets to my blog as a vote of confidence. It's going, the idea is that no one in reality, without spamming the algorithm, would link to another site unless that site was worthy to link to. And then basically, so Google uses links to validate um, the authority of a site, but also on a deeper level, links make the internet go around. So this is how Google crawls everything. This is how Google understands relationships between content. So basically, it's like I always see it as like you can have a store in the middle of the desert. Great. Well, if you're not building roads to that store, no one's ever going to see it. And that's what links are. And basically, the our votes of confidence. And even though Google has made massive changes in their algorithm update, links are still as important today as they were when I first started. It's just that Google has learned better, and it's SEO's fault, how to understand when you're building crap links or links are being, but they are basically a vote of confidence. This is how Google sees links. The more links you have to a page that are within certain criterion will help your page versus a competitor page that doesn't have
Oops. Yeah, I didn't realize I was muted. Uh, Do you think that link building strategies are something that every business needs to have in their marketing or SEO? Or do you think that this is something that can be sort of skipped depending on the industry and whatnot and all of those different intricacies?
I think that if you want to rank in Google, you have to have backlinks. This is you can create all the best content, you can have the best UX, you can have all of the best technical, best speed, you can have all of these things. Um, but if you want to move the needle for competitive terms, you need links. And And I hate to say that because, I really want, like, SEO is way more than links, but they are so important because basically, um, some uh, businesses or some content may not need them, but generally speaking, with competitive terms, links are important. But also for brand terms. So, say if I'm a new business starter, I have no link equity, I just have a brand, I can have content, I can have product pages, but links help Google understand what you are as an entity. So basically, even if you're building links back to your homepage without the goal of ranking, without the goal of driving keyword positions, they help Google understand, this is what your business is about. So I think that links are helpful for any business, um, but there depends on the business. We'll probably get into this later. How much you should invest in links, because not everything is equal.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's biggest thing when it comes to SEO investment is the how much to invest and how much they're going to see in return. Um, I think people don't realize how expensive it actually is to begin to put money into a lot of this, right? For stuff like pay-per-click ads and then SEO, there is a budget that needs to come in. And you need to sort of work that out. But I'm curious to know, since I think like link building, like you said, it kind of was started by Google, but it's been such a long time to, you know, how much it has been developed, how much it has changed, how much it has evolved from how the internet has been evolving. Do you think that people who are currently working with this have any outdated tactics that they are still trying to use, but they're probably maybe outdated, they're ineffective, they're harmful now, that people are still thinking that will work?
Yeah, so I don't like, again, I don't feel that like the tactics that are outdated today have been outdated for a long time. So back when I started, you could build links on forums, comment links. These don't work anymore. These are super outdated tactics. Also, building links like, guest posting is still a great tactic if you're starting out as a business. It right? This is still a great tactic, but again, it depends on, um, before you could buy, from Fiverr, 30 links for €50, and they're posted on these crappy websites or crappy pages. Google has got very good at understanding um, bad neighborhoods, bad websites, and before, um, Google would actually give you a penalty based on that. But they stopped doing that. So basically, they don't look at. They will give you a penalty if it's like at scale. But Google, the worst thing is that if you're investing in these type of links, you're actually paying for money for links that don't actually. Google doesn't even look at. And this is what a lot of people do. They invest in links at the start. They're from crappy websites, but they might move DR metrics. They might move Moz metrics like, DA, DR, but they're not actually going to move rankings on your. So I think that when it comes to investment and tactics, yeah, crappy websites that are obviously selling links, forum posts, yeah, you're not going to not working, comment posts, not working. But then the other things that do work, like, are really tactics, like, trying to have lots of anchor text or like anything that you can think of that is manipulative to Google. Google probably know that. Now, in saying that, if I'm in the casino niche, it's very different. So in the casino niche, everyone is doing crappy links and from crappy sites, but everybody is. So in that context, practices, and I think that's why I want to say that practices that don't work for one niche might work for another niche. Because if Google was to go, all the casino sites, I'm not ranking any of these because they come from crappy websites. We know these websites are selling links, blah, 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 blah. If Google was to do that, they would surface no casino links within the search. So it really depends on your niche about the tactics you can use. And so I think it's like, as you said, it's like, for me, this the same stuff that didn't work 3 years ago was the same stuff that doesn't work today. Like, nothing has changed around that. If you're obviously spamming the internet, if you're buying, if you're putting guest posts on crappy sites that have nothing got to do with your industry, or sites that are basically, we see them a lot of these news sites where it's like, you got articles about news, then you got best truck insurance for SUVs, or how to buy the best cat brush. Okay. Links of these sites don't work on anymore. So this is really, you want to invest in the places that actually going to drive results. But this has been the case for a long time.
So, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but I'm curious. Budgeting is really big when it comes to actually having good links. There's a budget that comes to any kind of digital marketing strategy that is not just social media, right? But for small businesses, startups, people who are in those beginning stages, what would you suggest that they do when it comes to having effective link building strategies, good links, et cetera, with restricted budgets?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, also, like a very old friend of mine said, you've got two things that you can do when you're starting a business. You have money or you have time. If you don't have money, then you will need to spend your time. So if I'm a bootstrapped startup business, I've just got a great idea. I've got maybe me and my best friend working on this site that we've set up. It's a good product, and something like that. I would say, I would be leaning more into putting your energy into guest posting. It's guest posting is still super valid today when it's done right. So with guest posting, basically you are trying to build your, and again, when you look at this, you're trying to build authority around at the early stage of who you are as an entity. So Google looks at businesses as an entity. This is why we have the knowledge graph. Google needs to see this first. So I think as a small business, starting out, and I'm really thinking about, just launched a product, just launched a website, no one knows who I, what can I do? In regards to, you should be doing social media marketing, you should be doing all of these things, but in link specific, um, guest posting is great to get you out there. Networking is great. Like, this is something that we use a lot in the SEO world. So it's like, if you're a Neil Patel of the world, SEO, it's, you got lots of network. You go, hey, I released this great post today on my site. People will link to it if it makes sense. So building networks is good like that. And then I think when it comes to budget, if you're really, really, really starting out, um, you could do a lot with a 5K budget. You could really do a lot with a 5K per month budget. You can drive DR growth. Now, DR is a Ahrefs metric, Google metrics, so we're all aligned with this. But we do see a correlation between higher DRs and rankings. And basically, the higher DR, the easier it is for all the pages on your website to rank. So it's like a rising ship. So it's like you could do a 5K budget and uh, actually builds that DR, grows your site as a whole. So I think this is uh, the best use of your money, but also if you're going to spend money, being super clear on what you're trying to achieve with the money you're spending. This is the most important thing. If you're a small business and you go, I got $3,000, $5,000 a month that I can spend for 3 months, what are my goals? What can this actually produce for us? And then you can speak to a company like, we will talk with clients and we'll go, you can't achieve that with this. And maybe there's another way for you to do it. So to go back, new company, you have time. Start writing some great posts. Start building your network, reaching out to people. Because then when you create content on your site, you go, hey, create this great piece of content. Also, uh, leaning to data you might have. So, for example, if you're a SaaS startup, you might have data that you have got from surveys. This is great content to post because it will naturally generate links, or you can post it on LinkedIn and people will refer to it in their post. So unique data. And this is also something that is going to come more and more to the front in AI overviews and where the internet is going now. So data, and data does not have to be hard numbers. Data can be stories. That just something that surveys that you have done that are different where you can reach out. And this is basically it. There are no shortcuts to growing a business. Like SEO takes time and there are no shortcuts to it. But the beauty of SEO is that, bar Google algorithms, is that, if I pay for ads for a keyword or a page, once I stop paying for the ads, that's gone. But once you build up equity, link equity, and that is about authority and these things into your site, your rankings pretty much stay the same. Not stay the same. There will be ups and downs, but it's not just if I stop tomorrow, they're gone. So I think you got money. If you got money, then investing in links where if you're starting with a good brand strategy, looking at some good blog posts where you can surface user intent, that's where I would go.
So I am also curious to ask, obviously brands always want to attract high authority backlinks. A lot of that is very, you know, big. But how can a business or a brand actually attract it without directly asking for them or, having to throw in these type of pitches that are going to feel annoying? Not there.
Well, you can't. If you have to ask for it, this is basic sales. I worked in a phone shop when I was young. Right, I remember, um, our whole thing was we had this consultants that came in and to see how we could sell more. And the one thing that they realized was that we're actually not asking for sale. We're giving all this advice and not going, "Hey, would you like to buy this at the end?" So you can do three things in my mind. If you don't want to ask for it, which should never be how you go into business, what you can do is you got to create awesome content for low difficulty keywords where a great piece of content could rank from the start without links. Then what you want to do is, if before you build that content, you want to look at, here's other sites that have gained 14 links, 15 links to this piece of content. So you can create great content that attracts links naturally. And this will be other people writing about adjacent topics that link to your post. After that, that kind of thing is basically you surfacing content to rank in the SERPs that people would see. But after that, you got to ask for it. You gotta, like, you could do the content thing where you're ranking the SERPs. You can use social media where you're posting and content you've driven. But again, you're not asking anyone to link to it. So for links, basically, you need to have content that's ranking in the top places. If not, what you can do is go old school. Look at maybe good business directories and if you're local or not, and put your business there. This is a good way without asking for the actual link. Other than that, I think that anyone that has that needs to build links, they have to have some intentionality to it. It's like, I love being able to go to businesses here and I don't have to ask for it. But other than that, you're leaving your whole strategy to the gods.
I think that's a lot of times that's probably what's the biggest thing with stuff like this is that it's not just chance, right? There's a lot of strategizing that comes into it, a lot of planning. Um, Something else that I actually am curious to hear about is what you think about AI in all of this, because I know that AI generated backlinks are becoming a thing. Lots of different businesses are thinking about using them. Um, do you think that this is going to be, a viable strategy? Automated link building in general,
No,
I know has been introduced.
never, ever. I think that anything you can automate like that it's going to be crap. Like you can have AI is great with link building workflows, things like that, but actually creating the links to, like, even without AI, we've had tools for years that help us build um, pyramid link building schemes where they build out Web 2.0 platforms and you link back to a thing. I can't think of the tool, but like we were using it 7 years ago. So you can't build automatic backlinks because where they're being published, like no reputable website is having a backlink produced on their site that is AI generated. So I would say no to that 100% because basically now we're actually going back to 2010.
So it's like a long time coming, this whole thing. I think that's like a huge thing with AI is that people think that it's a new thing. It's been happening.
Well, listen, I
Right.
like I love AI. I'm working with ChatGPT every day, and I'm trying to learn more about it. It is a thing, and it has purpose. But for building backlinks, if it's like generating backlinks, I haven't seen any kind of real case studies about anything like that. If you can build it, I suppose it's like buying Instagram followers or Instagram likes or any of these things. It's like these are obvious signals. It's a tactic that might show some growth at the end, but like you are basically betting against Google, a multi-billion-dollar company, to say that I can build links through AI that you're going to actually notice. You're not. Absolutely, you're not. And the time you invest in that, you could have written a guest post. You could have written a great piece of content on your site that gets you links naturally. You could have used that time to go, you know what? I'm going to have a good link building, whether it's Userp or something else. Here's a good link building service that have proper checks in place. And I'm going to invest $2,000 in this. That will do you more value than anything else. But the idea of AI link building, nah, we wouldn't. It's never going to be a thing.
Well, Gordon, that's very interesting, very valuable information, I think. Thank you so much for telling us all of this. It's a great way to end the podcast on. But before we finish it, I do want to give you the space to promote anything that you want to promote. If anything that we spoke about resonated with our audience, the floor is yours to tell them
Yeah.
all about.
Well, I suppose let's look at it for a business start. For a business starting, first thing you want to work on is build your social profiles. Depending on your business, some social profiles or some platforms will be better than others. Do that. Then look to building content on your site that is good, that actually provides value to your audience. Don't build content for the sake of it. Build content with intention. I would say that. Then when you get to a stage where you want to scale stuff up, where you go, well, I feel comfortable with investing some money. Invest it right. And for me, links is a great investment at this stage. If you've done the content, if not, build your content first. Build out that, top of funnel, some mid funnel content, because content at the end of the day is what links are good. But content is what makes you an expert in the eyes of Google. It's also what makes you an expert in the eyes of your audience. It's that I always go back to Mark Sheridan in he had Pools or Us. People will probably know him, but basically this guy, he had a pool business. He basically he built indoor pools. Or outdoor pools, and he had I think about 50,000 in sales per month, but it wasn't really good enough to do him. So he created a website and he answered every question that his audience might have around fiberglass pools. That was it. He went from 50,000 to 1 million sales a month. Simply, it's the concept in SEO of people ask, you answer. This is where that came from. So look at that content then. When you want to kind of scale up, work with a reputable link building agency like Userp, shameless plug, that are actually going to work with you and your budget and give you the best ways to move forward. Because lots of link building companies will go, we'll build you X links. That's it. There's no ROI on the other side of that for them. You work the work, you don't. Work with a company that is going to understand your needs as a business. Understanding, okay, build your DR, we can do this. You got some good pages here, we could do this. This is your budget, this is what we can do. And work with someone that is going to have quarterly or H2, like half year terms, deliverables. Like, this is what we expect to see. This is what we can do. And that's it. Because when you get to spend the money, whether you got 20,000 or 2,000, the underlying goal for you should be to drive results. But those results depend on where you are in the business and what you want to. So this is kind of how we approach SEO here at Userp.
Awesome. I will be adding the links to Userp and to your LinkedIn and everything to the description of this video so that people can access them easily and find you guys. Thank you so much for being in the podcast today, Gordon. It was so great to have you.
Anytime. I hope it all made sense. I know I can go off on tangents, but I hope it all made sense.
No, I think it was very helpful. It's such a difficult topic to understand. And I think you were very good at sort of putting it into words that are easy. So you did great. Thank you so much. I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you very much for your time today, Daniela.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest. And to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend and, of course, subscribe.